My friends, wealth is not an accident, nor is it a gift bestowed only upon a select few by fortune or chance. Wealth is a result. It is a harvest reaped from seeds planted in the soil of thought, nurtured by persistence, and watered by discipline. Every man and woman who has ever risen to wealth has done so by aligning their mind with certain principles that govern success. Just as gravity does not play favorites, these principles never discriminate. They reward the individual who obeys them, and they punish the one who ignores them. Today, I will share with you 19 timeless principles to master wealth, not merely in money, but in character, influence, and life itself. The first principle is desire. Wealth begins with a burning desire, an unshakable longing to create abundance. Desire is not a fleeting wish or a casual dream. It is a deep, consuming fire that refuses to die. Without desire, nothing begins. With desire, mountains crumble, oceans part, and impossibilities become opportunities. Desire sharpens the mind and focuses the spirit. If you wish to master wealth, you must first master desire. Wealth will not come to the half-hearted. It will not come to the one who says, "I would like it if it happens." It will come to the one who says, "I must have it, I will have it, and I will not rest until I do." The second principle is faith. Faith is belief applied. Faith is the ability to see riches long before they appear. Faith is the invisible force that transforms the unseen into the seen. When you have faith in your ability, in your idea, in your path, you will move boldly when others stand still. Faith does not ask for permission, it demands results. Without faith, desire is weak. With faith, desire becomes a magnet pulling resources, people, and opportunities into your orbit. Train your mind to believe in what you cannot yet touch, and soon you will touch what others cannot yet believe. The third principle is specialized knowledge. Wealth does not bow to general knowledge alone, for general knowledge is scattered like dust in the wind. Wealth bows to those who have taken the time to master something specific. The world rewards the specialist, the one who knows a subject so deeply that others turn to them for guidance. If you wish to master wealth, do not attempt to know everything about everything. Instead, choose your field, sharpen your knowledge, and then combine it with imagination to create value. The one who knows how to serve best in a specific way will always be sought after. The fourth principle is imagination. Imagination is the workshop of wealth. Everything that exists in this world, every building, every invention, every fortune, first lived in the imagination of someone who dared to see beyond reality. Imagination is the power to rearrange old knowledge into new combinations, to see possibility where others see only problems. Wealthy men and women are dreamers who act. They live in the realm of vision and then bring that vision down into the earth of action. Without imagination, knowledge sits idle. With imagination, knowledge creates empires. The fifth principle is organized planning. Dreams without plans are only fantasies. Wealth requires strategy. Wealth requires order. Those who build fortunes do not wander aimlessly. They design their steps, they chart their course, and they organize their efforts. Plans bring focus to desire and discipline to imagination. But remember this, a plan that fails is not a sign of defeat, but only a signal to adjust. Organized planning is not a single attempt, but a continual refinement until victory is secured. The sixth principle is decision. Indecision is the graveyard of wealth. The wealthy move with swiftness and certainty. They do not linger in doubt, nor do they waste energy on hesitation. When they see an opportunity, they seize it. When they must choose, they choose boldly. Decisions once made are seldom changed, and when they are, it is with reason, not fear. The poor man drifts, waiting for the perfect moment. The wealthy man decides and makes the moment perfect. Master the habit of decision, and wealth will follow. The seventh principle is persistence. Wealth does not come to the one who quits at the first sign of resistance. It comes to the one who refuses to be defeated. Obstacles are not walls, they are tests. They are the universe's way of asking, how much do you really want this? Those who persist find that resistance eventually bends. Persistence is more than effort, it is effort sustained. It is the refusal to bow down to failure. Every fortune you admire was built by hands that refused to let go, even when the nights were dark and the results unseen. Persistence is the bridge between dreams and reality. The eighth principle is the power of the mastermind. Wealth is never a solitary achievement. Even the greatest minds require alliance. A mastermind is the coordination of knowledge, effort, and energy between two or more people working in harmony toward a definite purpose. Alone you can do much, but together you can do exponentially more. A single battery provides light, but a network of batteries can power a city. Choose carefully the company you keep, for the right alliances will multiply your efforts, while the wrong ones will drain them. The ninth principle is self-discipline. To master wealth, one must first master oneself. Wealth is lost not because of lack of opportunity, but because of lack of control over appetites, emotions, and habits. The one who cannot control his spending will forever remain poor. The one who cannot control his tongue will destroy his reputation. The one who cannot control his emotions will sabotage his success. Wealthy individuals discipline their minds, bodies, and actions. They do not allow temporary pleasures to rob them of permanent rewards. Self-discipline is the iron gate through which all fortune must pass. The 10th principle is controlled focus. Wealthy individuals learn to concentrate their energies like a magnifying glass that focuses the sun into a flame. They do not scatter themselves into countless distractions. They choose their aim, fix their eyes, and march in one direction until the goal is conquered. The world is filled with people who are busy but not productive, scattered but not successful. Focus is the difference between activity and achievement. The one who learns to channel his energy into one dominant pursuit will achieve in years what others cannot in a lifetime. The 11th principle is integrity. Wealth that is not grounded in honesty collapses like a house built on sand. Trust is the foundation of lasting riches. Men and women of wealth understand that reputation is more valuable than gold, for it multiplies opportunities. Dishonesty may bring quick gains, but it carries seeds of destruction. Integrity ensures that wealth, once built, will endure. Let your word be as strong as iron, your actions as pure as light, and wealth will seek you as a trusted friend. The 12th principle is generosity. True wealth multiplies when it is shared. Stinginess creates stagnation, but generosity creates circulation. Money is like blood. It must flow to give life. The wealthy understand the law of giving, that the measure you give is the measure you receive. Generosity attracts goodwill, and goodwill attracts opportunities. To hold tightly to every coin is to strangle abundance, but to give wisely is to invite riches to return multiplied. The 13th principle is adaptability. Wealth belongs to those who adjust quickly to change. The world does not remain still, and neither should you. Fortunes are lost by those who cling to the old while the new rises before them. Wealthy individuals are not rigid, they are flexible. They bend without breaking, they pivot without losing direction. To master wealth is to dance with change, turning disruption into advantage and uncertainty into innovation. The 14th principle is time mastery. Time is the currency more valuable than money, for money lost can be regained, but time once gone is gone forever. Wealthy individuals understand that how they use their time determines how much wealth they accumulate. They guard their hours as treasure. They delegate what does not matter, and they dedicate themselves to what moves the needle. Waste your time, and you waste your fortune. Master your time, and your fortune will grow. The 15th principle is courage. Wealth requires boldness. The timid may survive, but they rarely prosper. Courage is not the absence of fear, it is the decision to act in spite of fear. Every fortune requires risk, calculated, intelligent, courageous risk. The world rewards the brave. Opportunities appear only to those willing to step into uncertainty. Courage transforms obstacles into stepping stones and fear into fuel. Without courage, desire remains a dream. With courage, desire becomes destiny. The 16th principle is consistency. Wealth is not built in a day, nor is it built in sporadic bursts of effort. It is built brick by brick, day by day, through consistent habits. The wealthy understand that small disciplines, repeated over time, yield massive results. Just as rivers carve canyons through persistence, so do daily actions carve fortunes. Consistency makes success inevitable because it compounds effort until it produces exponential results. The 17th principle is vision. The wealthy see beyond the immediate. They do not sacrifice the future for the pleasure of the moment. They live today with tomorrow in mind. Vision allows them to endure short-term struggle for long-term prosperity. Vision gives meaning to sacrifice and direction to effort. Without vision, people perish. With vision, they flourish. Vision lifts the eyes above obstacles and fixes them on horizons yet unseen. The 18th principle is service. Wealth flows toward those who serve others best. The measure of your wealth is determined by the measure of your service. The more people you serve, and the greater the value you provide, the more wealth will be drawn to you. Service transforms business into legacy and money into meaning. If you wish to master wealth, do not ask, "What can I take?" but rather, "What can I give that others cannot do without?" The 19th and final principle is gratitude. Gratitude keeps the heart humble, the mind clear, and the spirit open to more abundance. Gratitude transforms what you have into enough and multiplies it into more. The wealthy are not those who constantly chase without appreciating. They understand that gratitude is a magnet for blessings. The one who is thankful for little will be entrusted with much. Gratitude guards against arrogance and ensures that wealth enriches the soul, not just the pocket. My friends, these 19 principles are eternal. They are not confined to any one age, any one culture, or any one person. They have lifted the poor into prosperity, the obscure into greatness, and the forgotten into remembrance. If you align your life with them, wealth in all its forms, financial, spiritual, relational, will flow toward you with irresistible force. Master these principles, and you will not merely possess wealth, you will embody it. Wealth will no longer be something you chase, it will be something you attract. And when you stand in that place of mastery, you will realize that the true purpose of wealth is not possession, but the power to create, to uplift, and to leave behind a legacy that time cannot erase. Wealth, like all things of value, demands a price. That price is not measured only in money, but in effort, patience, and the sacrifice of lesser pleasures for greater rewards. Many fail because they want the crown without carrying the weight, the harvest without the plowing, the results without the process. But the truth is simple: there is no lasting wealth without a willingness to pay the cost. If you are ready to discipline your habits, control your desires, and align your actions with principles, then the gates of wealth will open. If you seek shortcuts, deceit, or laziness, you may see a flash of gain, but it will fade as quickly as it arrived. The soil of wealth accepts no counterfeit seeds. Another truth must be spoken. Wealth requires emotional maturity. Money will test you. It will reveal your character more than poverty ever can. Poverty hides weakness because it gives no power to display it. Wealth amplifies what already lives in your heart. If arrogance, greed, and carelessness are there, money will magnify them. But if humility, discipline, and wisdom are within, money will strengthen them. Therefore, you must prepare your inner life before wealth arrives, so that when it comes, it serves you instead of enslaving you. Understand also that wealth is never stagnant. It must be moved, managed, and multiplied. Money that is hoarded dies, but money that is invested grows. Like a river, wealth must flow, flow into business, flow into ideas, flow into service. The wealthy know that every dollar is a servant, and each must be given a task. If your money is idle, your future will be idle. If your money is active, your future will be fruitful. Learn to put your wealth to work, and soon your wealth will work harder than you ever can. It is also vital to recognize that wealth is built in harmony with time. Many dream of riches overnight, but true fortune is born in seasons. Just as no farmer plants today and harvests tomorrow, no man builds wealth without patience. Time compounds effort into greatness. A small investment today, repeated faithfully, becomes a vast fortune tomorrow. A single discipline today, repeated daily, becomes a legacy tomorrow. Do not despise small beginnings, for within them lie the seeds of greatness. Do not forget the role of environment. You cannot plant roses in a desert and expect them to bloom, nor can you plant dreams of wealth in a toxic environment and expect them to flourish. Surround yourself with voices of encouragement, with people who lift rather than drag you down, with influences that build instead of break. Your environment is the silent sculptor of your destiny. Choose it with wisdom, and it will shape you toward prosperity. Neglect it, and it will pull you quietly into mediocrity. Above all, wealth is a responsibility. To master it is not merely to enjoy it, but to steward it. You are not given wealth simply to satisfy yourself. You are entrusted with it to impact others, to uplift, to build, to inspire. The measure of your wealth is not in the numbers written in your account, but in the lives it touches, the opportunities it creates, and the legacy it leaves behind. Money spent only on the self is small. Money used to serve is limitless. So let these principles sink deep into your spirit. Speak them to yourself until they take root. Practice them until they become habits. Live them until they become your second nature. For in the end, wealth is not something you chase. It is something you grow into. It is not outside you waiting to be found. It is inside you waiting to be unlocked. Master these principles, and you will discover that true wealth is not about accumulation, but about transformation. The transformation of your mind, your habits, your destiny, and through you, the transformation of the world itself. Wealth is not simply measured in figures or possessions, but in the strength of the mind that commands them. A man may inherit millions, yet lose them in a few short years if his thinking is weak, undisciplined, or careless. Another man may begin with nothing but an idea and the determination to see it through, and in time he rises to great abundance. The difference lies not in what each man starts with, but in how he governs his thoughts. For thoughts are the architects of fortune. Every coin earned, every opportunity seized, every door opened begins first as a thought carried with conviction. To master wealth, you must master your inner dialogue, because it is from this silent conversation that your destiny is spoken into being. Do not underestimate the role of resilience. Life will strike. Circumstances will shake you. The storms will come when you least expect them, and they will test the strength of your foundations. The weak will fold, the fearful will retreat, and the impatient will abandon their pursuit. But those who rise to wealth do not allow adversity to break them. They allow it to sharpen them. They understand that resistance is a forge in which character is tempered. Each setback is not a signal to stop, but a summons to rise stronger. Resilience is the golden armor that protects all who seek wealth from the blows of temporary defeat. Another truth is the art of opportunity. Opportunities do not knock loudly, they whisper. They disguise themselves as challenges, as inconveniences, even as problems. The wealthy are not those who wait passively for a perfect moment. They are those who train their eyes to see hidden gold within common situations. They cultivate an alertness, a readiness to act, a courage to step forward when others hesitate. If you learn to recognize opportunity in its disguise, you will find doors where others see only walls. Furthermore, understand the necessity of balance. Wealth without health is misery. Wealth without relationships is loneliness. Wealth without purpose is emptiness. To master wealth, you must not sacrifice the essentials of life upon its altar. The wise know that true wealth is holistic. It enriches the body, the mind, the heart, and the soul. The pursuit of riches at the cost of peace, joy, and love is no victory, but defeat in disguise. Wealth must be integrated, not isolated. It must serve you in every dimension of your existence. Patience, too, is a virtue that cannot be neglected. In a world that clamors for speed, where people crave instant gratification, the ones who master wealth are those who wait, who endure, who sow in season and reap in due time. They understand that empires are not built overnight. They welcome the slow, steady climb, knowing that each day's consistent effort is compounding silently into greatness. They do not tear up the seed to see if it grows. They water it faithfully, trusting the unseen processes of time. Lastly, let us remember the unseen law of abundance, that what you project, you attract. If your heart is filled with scarcity, envy, and complaint, your world will mirror it back to you. But if your heart is filled with expectation, gratitude, and generosity, life will return the same in overflowing measure. Wealth responds not to desperation, but to confidence. It comes not to the one who begs, but to the one who acts as though it is already on its way. Align your thoughts, your emotions, and your actions with abundance, and the universe itself will conspire to deliver it into your hands. Wealth does not favor the restless wanderer who drifts from one scheme to another, forever chasing shadow. It bows only to the one who plants his roots deep and works with steady hands. Many fail not because they lacked opportunity, but because they lacked constancy. They gave up when the soil was still hard, not realizing that persistence would have broken it open in due time. Every fortune carries with it the story of a man or woman who stayed longer, pushed harder, believed stronger, and endured deeper than those who quit. The world remembers not the almost successful, but the ones who refuse to surrender. There is also a sacred law in wealth that cannot be overlooked, the law of value. Wealth flows in direct proportion to the value you create and deliver. If you wish to earn more, you must first become more. If you wish to rise higher, you must lift others higher. The wealthy never ask, "What can I take?" but always, "What can I contribute that will be so indispensable, so unique, so valuable, that people will gladly reward me for it?" Wealth is never about chasing money. It is about creating such overwhelming value that money has no choice but to chase you. Guard yourself against the poison of envy. Envy blinds the eye to opportunity and deafens the ear to wisdom. When you envy the success of others, you waste precious energy that could be spent building your own. The wealthy celebrate the victories of others, for they know success is not a limited resource. The rising of one does not diminish the rising of another. In fact, success multiplies when it is acknowledged, because admiration inspires action. Replace envy with inspiration, and instead of resenting wealth in others, you will invite wealth into yourself. Do not neglect the principle of continuous growth. Wealth is never static. The moment you stop learning, you begin declining. The wealthy are perpetual students, always hungry for knowledge, always willing to adapt. They read, they listen, they observe, they experiment, and they improve. They never assume they have arrived, because they know the world is always shifting, and those who rest on yesterday's victories become tomorrow's failures. Growth is the fuel of wealth, and the day you cease to grow is the day your fortune begins to wither. Equally important is humility. True wealth is never loud, boastful, or arrogant. It does not need to scream, because its presence speaks for itself. Humility keeps the wealthy grounded, aware that they are stewards, not owners, of what they possess. Arrogance blinds a man to danger, but humility keeps his vision sharp. Arrogance isolates, but humility multiplies alliances. The wealthiest souls are those who remember their beginnings, honor those who helped them, and treat others with dignity, no matter how high they climb. And finally, wealth demands vision that extends beyond your own lifetime. Money spent only on pleasures fades with you, but money invested in people, in causes, in legacies, echoes far beyond the grave. The wealth that endures is not measured in dollars alone, but in the footprints it leaves behind for generations to follow. Ask yourself not only, what can I build for myself, but what can I build that will outlive me? In that question lies the highest mastery of wealth. Wealth is also a test of clarity. Many people drift because they have no definite purpose, no clear destination, no vision that commands their spirit. Without clarity, every path seems tempting, every distraction seems important, and every obstacle feels like a reason to quit. But when your purpose is defined, when your vision is fixed, distractions lose their power. Wealth answers to the one who knows exactly what he wants, why he wants it, and what he is willing to give in return. Vagueness produces poverty. Definiteness produces riches. The one who walks with certainty, even when the road is rough, will outdistance the one who wanders in doubt on the smoothest road. Wealth is also the companion of discipline in thought. The mind is a field, and every thought is a seed. If you allow fear, doubt, and negativity to be planted, they will grow into weeds that choke abundance. If you plant confidence, creativity, and determination, they will yield a harvest of prosperity. Guard your thoughts with the same care you would guard a treasure chest. Do not permit the voices of defeat to take root in your inner dialogue. The wealthy discipline their minds to dwell on possibilities rather than limitations, on solutions rather than problems, on abundance rather than scarcity. What the mind feeds upon, the life reflects. Another key lies in responsibility. Wealth does not remain with those who shift blame, make excuses, or wait for rescue. It resides with those who accept responsibility for their outcomes. The wealthy say, "If it is to be, it is up to me." They do not complain about conditions, they create conditions. They do not curse the wind, they adjust their sails. Responsibility is ownership, and ownership is power. As long as you give your excuses more attention than your efforts, wealth will remain distant. But once you take full ownership of your life, you step into the circle where wealth can grow. Wealth is strengthened by patience with people. No empire was built by one pair of hands alone. Partnerships, customers, clients, investors, workers, all are necessary in the building of fortune. The wealthy understand the art of dealing with people, patience in listening, wisdom in speaking, and fairness in action. They do not burn bridges for momentary satisfaction. They build bridges that carry opportunities back and forth for years to come. They treat people as assets, not obstacles, and in doing so they multiply both loyalty and prosperity. It is equally true that wealth belongs to the bold. Fear is the thief of fortune. It paralyzes the will and blinds the eyes. Fear convinces a man that tomorrow is safer than today, that waiting is wiser than acting, that risk is a danger rather than a doorway. The wealthy feel fear as everyone else does, but they master it. They act in spite of it. They know that fear loses its grip the moment boldness takes its place. Wealthy men and women look at fear not as a stop sign, but as a signal that growth lies on the other side. Lastly, wealth thrives on gratitude, for gratitude opens the floodgates of abundance. The grateful heart is never empty. It sees blessing in every situation, opportunity in every challenge, and lessons in every failure.
Gratitude keeps the spirit humble, the mind positive, and the soul ready for more. Those who complain repel abundance, but those who give thanks attract it. Gratitude does not only acknowledge what has been received, it also calls forth what is yet to come.
The wealthy are not those who are endlessly chasing what they lack, but those who celebrate what they have and build upon it until it multiplies. Wealth, then, is not a matter of chance, nor is it confined to the fortunate few. It is the natural outcome of living in harmony with principles that never fail. Desire fuels the journey, discipline steadies the course, persistence carries you through storms, and vision lights the way. Wealth is created when imagination is put to work, when courage outweighs fear, and when integrity guards every step. It is multiplied through service, preserved by gratitude, and made eternal when used for purposes greater than self. To master wealth is not merely to accumulate riches, but to become the kind of person who attracts them effortlessly, who stewards them wisely, and who uses them to leave a mark that time itself cannot erase. Align your life with these timeless truths, and you will find that wealth, in its fullest sense, is not something you pursue, it is something you become.